Thank you so much, honorable members. Let's pray. Almighty God, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favors and blessings as your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to leadership positions in this republic. We seek guidance to treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberations in so just and faithful a manner as to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interest you have committed to our charge. Amen. Legal officer, kindly proceed and administer the oath.
I, Dr. Leonard Oti, do swear that the evidence I shall give before this committee is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Leonard. For purposes of introduction and the proceedings of this Adhoc committee, I am Rotich Moses, MCA representing Tendeno Soget Ward, and I chair to this Adhoc committee. I wish to have our honorable members proceeding with the introduction, starting from my vice chair on the left.
Thank you, and welcome, Dr. I'm Irene Langat, vice chair to this committee.
Welcome, Dr. I am Honorable Philip Kimuyana Mutai, representing the great people of Kipchimchim and friend to this committee.
David Maritim, MCA Jepsion Ward member.
My name is Vincent Korir. I represent the people of Londiani Ward and a member of this committee.
Tukuri Korir Matthew, MCA Chaik Ward, member to this committee.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Eric B. Ablela Ward MCA. Thank you. I'm a member of this committee.
Okay, thank you, Chair. I'm Albert Kipkoech, MCA Soliat, member of this committee. Thank you.
Beth Cheriot is my name. I represent the ward Kola Inamoi. Welcome.
I am Masnjeri Gekonyo, representing minority, a member of this committee, nominated MCA.
Within us too, are members of the Secretariat that I would wish to give them a chance to introduce themselves.
Thank you so much, Chairman. Welcome, Dr. My name is Abraham Langat, Secretariat.
Karibu Daktari. I'm Sharon Mimbi, part of the Secretariat.
I'm Coach Patricia, Secretariat.
Good morning. My name is Renis Chepngatich, PR Officer.
I'm Patrick Korir, PR Officer.
And Justice Maritim, Sergeant at Arms.
Thank you so much. I wish also that we give you a chance to introduce yourself, putting emphasis on your role in Kericho County. That is as per your appointment letter.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. I'm Dr. Leonard Oti. I work in the county government of Kericho as a cooperative officer. I take care of all the cooperatives in this county. Yes.
Thank you so much. Secondly, I would wish to ask the honorable members if there is anyone amongst us with any conflict of interest, so that he or she may declare before we proceed. Honorable Cheriot Bet.
I don't have any conflict of interest.
Honorable Albert Kipkoech.
I don't have also conflict of interest.
Honorable Eric B.
True, I don't have conflict of interest.
Honorable Matthew Korir.
True, Chairman, I don't have conflict of interest.
Honorable Masagi Konya.
Chairman, I don't have any conflict of interest.
Honorable Vincent Korir. Honorable Maritim.
No conflict of interest.
Honorable Philip.
I can just say, Dr. Oti falls under my committee of cooperative, so it happens that I know him. That's just kind of a small interest that I have with him.
Thank you so much, Honorable Vice Chair.
Okay, I do not have any conflict of interest.
So, for purposes of interest of time, I wish to give two honorable members a chance to take us through the proceedings of the day, starting from Honorable Matthew Korir.
Okay, Chair, welcome, Oti. And I think this will be a very interactive session. One is that we want to know more about the account that we have in Equity Bank that belong to Kericho County donation funds. Dr. Oti, you have been the signatory to this account. How many signatories do you have? For the purpose of record, and we have the answer, we like that you pronounce yourself yes or no, or you tell us what we have asked you directly. How many signatories do you have in this account?
3 signatories.
One
is the outgoing, the CS who had been replaced.
CS?
Joel Bett was the secretary. But so far he has been replaced by Dr. Bor.
Wesley Bor.
Yes.
And then
the second one is Fernandez Korir.
Fernandez Korir.
Yes.
And then that one?
That one is Leonard Oti.
Leonard Oti.
Yes.
How long have you been operating this account?
The account was opened in the year 2014.
2014?
Yes.
Okay. Does the funds that in this account normally count under the revenue, or it is just but a donation?
It is a donation, especially when it was opened. This what it was meant for what we had, the Kericho County Investment Conference.
Yes.
That is, they were seeking assistance from donors to assist to support the CEC, Kericho Investment Conference.
But during that time, this is the only house that approved the budget and appropriation of any expenditure from the executive.
Yes, sir.
So any money that enters to that account remain as the revenue of this county.
When it was opened, it was specifically meant for that investment conference.
Okay, I will let my colleague Albert to take from there. But first, Oti, can you take us through when you want to pay a staff or when you want to pay a supplier using that account? What are the requirements? What are the policies in place that is guiding the management of that account?
Okay, thank you. If you want to make any payment from that account, because if we leave out the Kericho County Investment Conference, that ended in the year on the 26th of November 2014. After that, it became dormant. Then later on, it was revived. So if any payment is to be made to that account, from that account, we are supposed to have minutes of a committee authorizing the payment to that effect. Committee for that specific purpose. Especially now, we can talk about the Christmas.
Yes.
Christmas tree, governor's Christmas tree, supporting the less fortunate people in the community. There would be a committee to facilitate, to deal with all that is needed until that time they come to when it comes to we are supposed to withdraw money for that purpose.
And in case that you are paying a staff or county staff, in case that you want to facilitate yourself for a conference or for an event, what do you have to produce before you being paid?
We have not had any situation where we are paying staff.
Okay.
We have not had that.
But what about when you are withdrawing as a signatory?
When I'm withdrawing as a signatory, I'm withdrawing based on what a specific committee had resolved.
Okay, let me give my colleague to take you for another question.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. Bonauti. Maybe my first question to you is that you have just said that this account was opened in November 2014.
Before November 2014, because we had the investment conference in November 26th of November 2014.
And the sole purpose was Kericho Investment Conference.
That was the initial objective of opening that account.
Was there other objectives that was added immediately after that?
No, it became dormant for some time.
So the only objective that is there is Kericho Investment Conference.
That time.
Nothing else?
That time, it was Kericho Investment Conference. Later on, it was revived again now. It became dormant for some time, around 5 years.
So, Oti, is there any other objective that was added apart from that one of Kericho Investment Conference?
Later on, it became necessary to use it for purposes of specific purposes.
Okay, who revived? If it was dormant for some time?
It's the finance department.
When was this account revived?
I think maybe around 2019.
2019.
Yes.
Are you able to know the objective of that time?
It was now objective, like now when you want to talk about the Christmas tree.
So it was Christmas tree at that time.
At that time.
And then immediately after that.
It became dormant. Yes.
To which date or the other day?
I can't remember that.
Okay, so how did money for the victims land in this account? Who proposed?
I don't know. Maybe finance can answer that, because we'll come to that. But what I'm saying is, Mheshimiwa, is that it became dormant for some time. The decision to put money in it later on again for the victims.
That's what I'm saying, Dr. T. So you're not aware when did the money for Londiani victims landed in that account?
I don't know.
So you don't know?
I don't know.
The only thing that you know is that you are told that there is this check, go and sign for this purpose.
I was informed later on that the money that was collected through donations to the donations account in Equity Bank that money was put in that account.
Who told you?
Maybe before Albert proceeds, we seek to divine a donation that is something that is given to a charity. Equally the same, we had a fundraiser on the 4th of July. A fundraiser is an event or a campaign whose primary purpose is to raise money for a cause. Honorable Albert, proceed.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Chairman. I hope you have understood what the Chairman has said. So I was saying that, so you don't know how the money landed in donation account?
The decision to put money in that account,
you don't know.
Sir, I don't know.
You have just said that you were later told.
I was later told on the day I was asked to go and sign.
By who? Who told you?
First of all, on the 20th of July, I was in a meeting in Kabianga Farmers Cooperative Society.
Just go direct and say I was told by this person, so that you will not waste a lot of time. Just go direct.
I was informed by Fernandez.
Fernandez.
Yes.
Okay. So another question is that you have just said that for the purpose of withdrawing money in that account, minutes must be there.
Yes, sir.
So who normally chairs such a committee?
It depends. It depends on each committee at one particular time. But for this one, it was chaired by the CS.
Or by the county secretary?
Yes.
From your own observation, is there an appointment letters to appoint people to that committee?
When I now leave it to the appointing authority, sir, because
okay.
my take is that there should be one.
I want to take you to the statement.
Yes.
Of that account.
Yes.
On 21st.
On 21st of July.
1st of July.
Yes.
Before 21st, there is a check that was presented to that account on 18th of July, and that is when meeting was being held for the purpose of withdrawal of money in that account. So did you sign a check number 107?
Maybe if you can mention the payee, I will be able to remember very fast.
So the payee. Matthew. Yes.
I did sign that.
You signed?
Yes.
What was the purpose of that 24,000?
What I was told by the cashier, Kericho, was that they were going to pay Wells Fargo for some consignment they had moved from one place to another.
Did you know the consignment?
I don't know. No, I'm getting you. I'm getting you, Matthew.
Do you have any document to support your signature before you append? Did you manage to be given any document to accompany the check?
The document that I was given.
Yes.
I'm told the Wells Fargo.
OT, let's differentiate what you are told, but here it is a house of rules and procedures. Direct question. Do you have any document to support 24,000?
The cashier should be having it.
Maybe OT, welcome. What they're asking is, before you withdraw money in this account, you need to do what is called due diligence. You are given just a check instruction by someone, please sign this check. Reason, it is going to be used to pay a cashier, a Wells Fargo. That was a cashier telling you. A CEO might also come and tell you, OT, please sign this check. There are things that need to be paid in Nairobi. You just proceed and sign the check. You do not even do what is called due diligence, because I thought before you withdraw any funds, you need to have a proof that this money is meant for this purpose. It should not be a word of mouth, but of course something that is written, that is signed, so that once the funds are withdrawn, you also have something to defend yourself with.
For instance, in that connection, not my good friend said, Leonard OT on 21st, you withdrawn 100,000. What was the purpose of that money?
On the 21st.
And you have to tell us what was the purpose, and it was meant to pay what service. And I want you to become very specific to that.
Through the chair, OT, I think don't make this committee look so blind, because the account you are operating as 3 members. Is it? Now, is it only that you append your signatures for money to be dispersed, or you should be having a document that proves you are appending the signature for this money for a certain purpose.
Okay, so through the chair, I want to respond as follows. I've remembered the issue, the document I may not be having for the Wells Fargo's, but it was meant to move the consignment. I tend to think it was for money from Londiani to the bank. Yes.
Okay.
Two.
Allow me, Chairman. So you are saying it was to move the money from Londiani to the bank?
Yes.
Which
Yes,
was
sir.
done on 4th July.
I think, yes,
The
yes, sir.
movement was done on 4th.
Yes.
Okay, so I want to take you back, Kidogo. You said that every withdrawal, minutes should be there to confirm that this committee has approved withdrawal of this money. When did the committee sit and decide that we are paying Wells Fargo 24,000?
Chair, I may not be having the documents, Chair, but that was the purpose.
Are you aware that the only time the committee sat was on the 18th, the
Yeah.
day that you effected this payment?
Yeah, because what I may think might have happened because the Wells Fargo wanted their money, and the chief called me.
Okay, Chair.
Yes.
We have no problem with the issue of Wells Fargo, but can you share with this committee at least the membership of this committee? Tell us who are the membership of this committee where you can get convinced that this is what the decision of the committee. Can you tell us the membership of this committee who can direct the whole signatories to just sign checks blindly and give out because people want to be paid?
Chairman, Mr. Oti, you are just telling us you go and withdraw the money. Now, don't you have a meeting as an executive committee to decide on the withdrawal? Say that you have a reason of you withdrawing the money, or you just get up independently, go withdraw the money, do what an individual is saying. You should have a meeting. You should have an illustration of a meeting whereby you sit as an executive committee to make an order of withdrawal of a particular amount over an issue. Thank you.
Chair, if I may respond, Chairman.
Maybe before you respond with OT, I wish on your desk now you have sufficient questions. I wish that you proceed with answering all what you have so that we don't miss on any other question that the honorable member has have tabled. So,
okay, thank you, Chair.
With that direction, kind of proceed.
Thank you, Chair. For the, I want to put it in record that I'm not a member of the committee. I'm not a member of the committee authorizing the payments, Chairman. Two, the issue of withdrawing the money must be minuted, Chairman. The withdrawal of any money from that account must be minuted. The only omission that I've not got the minutes for the withdrawal of the 24,000 meant for Wells Fargo.
So you are
I don't have it,
so
sir.
you are confirming to us, to this committee, that every time there is a transaction being conducted in this account, by definition, a donation account, there must be minutes.
There must be minutes, Chairman.
So the omission that you're telling us is you're only missing on the minutes of a transaction of 24,000.
24,000.
We are also informed on record that there was also a withdrawal of 100,000.
Yes, I have the minutes to
So
that
you
effect.
have the minutes for that?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Proceed.
So, Chairman, there must be minutes to allow the signatories to withdraw the money or through a check. So, the 100,000, Chairman, was withdrawn on 21st. I can confirm that. It was withdrawn on 21st, and it was written, the payee was Leonard O.T. The payee was Leonard O.T. I went with the minutes to the bank, withdrew the money, carried the money to the cash office.
The cash office, who was the recipient?
The recipient of the money is Chirchir. Yes.
Okay, what was the purpose of that 100,000 in the minutes?
In the minutes, if you may allow me, Chairman, to read that last section. The Chairman asked the members present to adopt the budget for the event on disbursement of checks in Londiani as follows. 100 seater and 200 chairs, 100 seater tent and 200 chairs, 3,000, PA system, 20,000, refreshments, bread, soda, water, totaling 100,000, Chairman.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. For purposes of this committee,
yes, Chairman.
We wish that we do a copy of those minutes for our record purposes. So, Sergeant at Arms.
Thank you, Chair.
Kindly.
Okay, Chairman. Maybe Oti.
Yes, Chair.
How many signatories signed that check?
2 signatories.
You and who?
And Fernandez.
Okay. Check number 108. Are you aware of check number 108?
If you may mention the amount. See, that is the 100,000. Oh, that one. That was for the tents. I was told by the Churchill it was meant for the tent, the presidential tent in Londiani.
You also signed the check?
I signed the check as a signatory.
Okay. Is there a place in all these checks that 3 signatories have signed?
No.
So only 2 of you?
But I think the instructions is only 2. Any 2.
Any 2.
Thank you.
So in all these checks, the any 2 is you
and Fernandez.
So check number 109.
But on the same day, OT, you made a transaction of 300,000.
Yes, I can.
Yes. If you can provide minutes on that and tell us what was.
It is here. I have the minutes, Chairman. The committee, if you allow me, Chairman, once again, the committee approved the following expenditure, Chairman. Kericho County Referral Hospital, but I go direct to the 300,000. The 300,000, according to the minutes of the committee, was for damaged motorbikes. 300,000, Chairman.
Then you handed over money to?
I handed this money, the 300,000, to Chirchir in his office.
Okay.
The same day, I handed over the 100,000.
For purposes of record 2,
yes, Chairman.
Kindly get us the copy so that we proceed.
OT, we have another check, number 200, but it is the same with the check number 111. Before, on 20th 7th, 2023, 20th July 2023, you write a check to Londiani Sub-County Hospital worth 1,534,190. Do you remember signing this check?
I signed the checks.
What was meant? Do you have the minutes?
It's in the minute. That the minute I've just.
You have just shared.
Yeah, we've just shared.
And then we have another check also on the same date to Kericho District Hospital of 2,037,524.
Chairman is also in that minute.
It is also in that minute.
Yes.
But on 27 OT, you came back also and write a different check to the manager Equity Bank. To the manager Equity Bank of 1,534,190.
Let me correct, Chairman.
Yes.
I did not write, but I signed.
You signed, yes.
Okay.
And then you signed another check also on the same to the manager Payee. Now here is the manager Equity Bank, 1,880,336.
What Churchill told me is that there is some money which was supposed to be paid to manager Equity.
Yes.
Yes.
There is money that was supposed to be paid.
Paid either Equity or KCB, something like that.
For what purpose?
That was a payment approved by the committee to pay the Kericho
Referral Hospital.
Referral Hospital.
Okay, Chair. Following up the same OT. Do you know where these checks landed? The one for County Referral Hospital and Londiani Referral Hospital. Confirm to this committee where, after signing these checks, where did it land? Because we've seen most of there's a withdrawal and you handed over to Chirchir. How about these other checks? Where did it land?
Chairman, once I've signed the checks, they are taken back to Chirchir. So how he gives them out, Chairman, I may not be knowing because I sit the other side. They are at the county headquarters.
Thank you so much, Dr. Oti.
Just at the joinder, there's something I just want to inquire from the check that was read by the Honorable Matthew. I heard there was a check that was presented to the manager Equity Bank of 1.8 something million. And the Dr. Oti confirmed to us, some of us were laymen in terms of some of these things. You were writing a check to the manager. This check was written, paid the manager Equity Bank. Was the manager supposed to withdraw this money? Because once you write a check to a manager, it seems that the manager is going to withdraw the cash or what? What does that mean?
Okay, Chairman, I think, I'm saying that the person who is best placed to clarify those ones is Churchill. Yes.
Okay. But my question, just explain to me, because you are an expert in signing and writing some of these checks. Some of us are laymen. When you say pay the manager Equity Bank, what does that? Because the other one is pay the manager Equity Bank. The other check was pay the Kericho District Hospital 2 million. So the other one now is pay Londiani Sub-County Hospital. So the one for Londiani, you pay the Londiani Sub-County Hospital, isn't it? The one for Kericho County Referral, it means you pay the Kericho County Referral. Now the one for the manager Equity, you also pay the manager Equity as an individual now. Does that mean the manager is the one who is going to cash the money? Just clarification.
Okay, Chairman, may request that we get clarification from Churchill regarding that.
Thank you so much, Oti.
Maybe
before then, Dr. Leonard, on the 18th, that is the minutes you have just given us.
Yes.
That there was a committee meeting held on the 18th of July. It is on record that these minutes were disowned by some members of the committee by members of the committee. Yeah? That on the minute 1, Honorable Daniel Rope, to whom we are told he was the one praying, taking part of the prayer, said he didn't attend the meeting. Then the same minutes OT is the one that we have acted upon in executing the transactions. What can you say?
Chairman, disowning the minutes or owning the minutes may not be easy for me because I was not a member of the committee. All that I was given is what the committee is said is purported to have approved. Let me use the word purported to have approved. So, Chairman, what I'm saying is that maybe the secretary to this committee we are talking about should clarify why does he have to include members, those who are not members in the committee, or those who do not attend even the meetings as in attendance. Chairman.
Chairman,
thank you so much.
A follow-up question on the same chairman. We have a very key issue here. There's OT. There's minutes number 3, which says that the members not the record of the amount to be paid to medical expenditure, total of 1.8336. Yeah. After giving you these directives from the minutes, you went ahead and instead of writing the medical expenditure to the county referral hospital, you directed the checks to the manager Equity Bank. Can you clarify on the same? Because if this medical expenditure, it should be specifically to the hospitals.
I would request, as I requested the chairman earlier, that when it comes to payment to the equity manager from Equity Bank and reversing again, writing this, we are requesting the chairman, Chirchir, can explain that.
Thank you. The role of, to our honorable members, the role of Dr. Leonard Oti is specifically to append the signature. Yeah. So
maybe. Yes, sir.
By the minutes, then you are now writing your own checks to the manager. Meaning you cannot take Chirchir. These are directives. You are going as by the minutes. And now, if you are involving Chirchir in this, there's no minute, there's nowhere written in this minutes that Chirchir has directed you to pay to manager Equity Bank.
Richard, on the same chair, on the same page, there is a check that you sign and you withdraw the money of 100,000. That is for 100 seats, tents, and 200 chairs, which is equivalent to 30,000. PA system, which is equivalent to 20,000. Refreshment, bread, soda, water, coming to 7,000, 6,000, and 6,000. And you say a total of 100,000. And in my calculation, it is coming to 69,000. How did you arrive and withdrew this money, 100,000?
But Chairman, I have another information in which I am obtaining from the minutes. Check the second paragraph. The members were informed that the executive resolved that the damaged motorcycles be compensated at an estimate of 200,000 each. A different information altogether. We knew that 300,000 was to be made, to be actually appropriated for the 3 motorcycles. Now in these minutes, you are now hiking the price of a motorcycle to 200,000.
I think, Chair, if I may, you allow me to respond. This is the part, okay. regarding the discrepancy in what was written here and up there and what is in the other minute, is that let the secretary to this committee to explain the discrepancy, Chairman. No, I'm requesting, Chairman.
But OT, you cannot direct some questions. No. When you can do some calculation, you have been given minutes which has some directives, unless you are telling me that you are not with these minutes. Because when you say the county secretary is answerable, and the minutes are in your table, which is giving you exact figures, how can you put us to a direction that we go to the county secretary? It is you who is providing, or you are giving us the minutes, not the county secretary.
On top of it, Chair, unless OT you are confirming you don't know mathematics, unless you want to confirm to this committee that you don't know summations, because you cannot actually stay here telling us someone else to do the clarification, yet there is some mathematical error which are very clear here. And if at all you signed a check to withdraw this money, it means also you can prove that you don't care about the money in which you are signing, which of course it is part of the just failing to do your responsibility and due diligence on what you are doing.
Better still, Chairman, better still, OT, are you signing, just only signing, your purpose is to sign everything you are given to the table before even confirming the figures?
Okay, let me come to that, what Moshmi was just asked now. I'm not just signing because the check has been brought to the table to sign, but some of these checks was signed, I signed them on 20th of July. When I had just come from the meeting, I did not get time to go through these minutes. I asked him,
OT.
Yes, sir.
Daktari, kindly confirm to this committee whether you interacted with the minutes before signing the check.
Chairman, I had not interacted with the minutes before.
You didn't interact with the minutes?
I had not interacted with the minutes before signing the check.
So someone brought the check to your office?
Before.
You appended the signature? And then he returned the check to whoever was supposed to go and deposit the check?
That is cash office.
Thank you so much.
Chair, give me a chance. Now, Daktari, thank you very much. There are things that I would like to know from you for us to understand better about the account. You are the signatory, and you said you are nominated to run the account. Does the account belong to the county? And has it been registered using the county documents? Number two, maybe that is only a yes or no. Does it belong to the county?
It belongs to the county.
Thank you. Do you have guidelines operating the account? Do you have the guidelines that is used to operate the accounts? Guidelines. Because it belongs to the county, I would like to know if you have guidelines to operate the account. Yes or no? Guidelines. Is it just operated like that, or there is a guideline?
The guidelines are...
Is it yes or no? Is there guidelines?
Yes.
No? Okay, yes. Thank you. Are you able to provide the guidelines?
Not at this moment, Chair.
No. Are you able... Yes, you say there is guidelines. Are you able to provide the guidelines? If there are no guidelines, you say no, and you are not able to provide. Are you able to provide the guidelines?
No, I'm not able to provide, Chairman.
So there are no guidelines?
At the moment, I'm not able to provide the guidelines.
Okay, thank you. Now, Chairman, I want to exhaust my questions. Again, because you are an officer in our county, you are also operating the donation account. Then you must be able to explain to us how donation account is treated in the county, and when money comes to the third account, is it treated as revenue? That's the answer. That's the question I want to ask. And if it is the revenue, how is revenue supposed to be appropriated in this county? Thank you.
Okay. Maybe before you answer, you confirmed to us initially that before money is withdrawn, right, there should be minutes, right? So I thought minutes is the guiding principle to any transaction that to be appended to this donation account. Is it that way, Oti? Yes or no?
Chairman, I thought what Mheshimiwa Vincent was asking was about written down guidelines like this. That is what I thought. But when it comes to...
That to me is very important, because what we need is to see how is the account run. Is it run just like that, or there are guidelines?
Maybe, Chairman, there may not be written down guidelines, but we know that before you withdraw money from that account, there must be minutes to effect the transaction.
Thank you so much. Okay, we wish to give, let me give a chance to Honorable Kemboy, then Honorable Cheriat Bett, then my Vice Chair, then you have any question from this side? Okay, so we will go in this order. Honorable Kemboy, Honorable Cheriat Bett, then the mic proceeds to this side. Proceed, Honorable Kemboy.
Thank you.
Maybe for purposes of, these proceedings are on live coverage. Maybe we didn't inform you. So for purposes of other Kenyan citizens who are following us, I wish Honorable Korir to ask that, that question.
Yes. You see, I need clarity here, because the people who are affected is the people who we represent. And we need answers. This money that came from the victims, when it came to the county account, how did you treat it? Is it just money that came in? Is it the revenue to the county? Or what kind of treatment do you normally do when you receive money in that account, first of all?
Okay, thank you, Chairman. The money in, is it a donation? Is it a revenue? If I may answer that. It is not revenue, because revenue is later on used for other county activities, like even development projects in the county. But donation is for a specific purpose. If it was for the victims, it's supposed to go to the victims and related expenses. To that, Chairman.
Very correctly, because I want to find answers on where the money went to. If it was for the victims, then I should see checks going to the names of the victims and not other activities, as you said.
Thank you, Chair. I want to ask Oti to give us a clarification, the purpose of him being one of the signatories in that account, and the way he normally operates before he append his signature. What are some of the guidelines do you normally go through? And Chair, according to the minutes that we, unless there is another meeting that was held before, because according to the minutes that we receive, by the county secretary, seeing the attendance were 11. And the one that OT is giving us, the attendance are 10. And it is a lot of contradictions in terms of people who attend these meetings. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. I think you will answer. Mine is very brief. Mr. Oti. Mr. Oti, this account that you were the signatory, do you normally, give out quarterly reports to this account? That is one. Secondly, what was the balance in this account before the money that was meant for the victims in Londiani were deposited in this account? What was the balance? Number three, I know you have a biro. You can write it down. I know you are a doctor. You can write it down. So what was the balance? Initially, how do you normally withdraw funds that are in that account? Then now, Chairman, and with all due respect, Chairman, you know Mr. Oti is a signatory of this very important account. When you interact with these checks, Chairman, Mr. Oti, you remember you signed a check on the 20th. You signed one of the checks on the 20th day of July 2023. Pay Londiani Sub-County Hospital 1.534. That is 1.5 million. You pay Londiani County Referral Hospital on 20th. Number two, Mr. Oti, you signed another check on the same day, 20th, to Kericho District Hospital on 20th, a check of 2 million. Then on 27th, you signed two checks. One of them was now paid the manager Equity Bank. Amount is 1.5. On the same day, 27th, Dr. Oti, you also signed another check. The manager paid the manager Equity Bank 1.8. In my view, Mr. Oti, the other checks, the checks for the hospitals, which in my view were the right people to be addressed, was the hospital, because these checks were meant for the hospital bills. But you never did due diligence before you append your signature, Dr. Oti, to a document. You remember very well, I had appended my signature to another check of the same value. I mean, it's only you who cannot question that why did you cancel this check for 1.5 and it was meant for hospital, Londiani County, Londiani Sub-County, then you are bringing another check for now the manager. So, Mr. Oti, you never did due diligence, because from where I sit, I can now understand why the manager Family Bank was supposed to be paid this money, so that he bring the money in cash. The Equity Bank manager, so that he bring the money in cash, because the other money will have gone to the county hospital account, which was even better. So the check for 20th, in my view, Chairman, this is now how, these are conduit now of siphoning the money that was supposedly meant for the victims and those who lost their lives. It's unfortunate because, as Mr. Oti, you never did due diligence. Why do you sign two checks? Are there minutes that accompanied the cancellations of the first checks? Were you given minutes that accompanied the cancellation of the first checks? If you were given minutes, can you furnish with these committees with those minutes that told you we are now cancelling the first checks?
Chairman, I was not given the minutes cancelling the check earlier signed, but I asked the person drawing the checks, is there a problem or what is the problem? They told me there is no problem. It's only that we were supposed to pay so and so, but we did not pay that so and so. Chairman, that is I want to go on the record. So whatever I was doing.
Chairman, kidogo tu. Oti, nataka tuende tu pole pole.
Can I?
Utaenda pole pole tu. Nataka tuende the same thing, but tuende pole pole. So tarehe 20 vile mwenzangu amesema, tulisign check iende Londiani Hospital, si ndivyo? Ilikuwa iende kwa hospitali at that time. And then ukasaini nyingine ilikuwa iende district at the same date 20th, si ndio? Na kuna attachment. Atwende tu polepole tu.
Maybe I can explain.
Atwende tu polepole, you'll explain. Twende tu polepole. Because hapa kuna attachment ya victims. So ilikuwa iende benefits hospitali, si ndio? Victims hao wenye hapa, for example here Kericho District Hospital Ward 1.8 that you signed, na the pay hapo ni Kericho District Hospital. So ilikuwa beneficiary ni nani? Ya hospitali, waathiriwa. So hii ingine ya manager, so ilikuwa manager benefit ama ilikuwa manager atoe hiyo pesa apeleke kwa hospitali?
I think that the check to the manager, the chief accountant, and the cashiers would be able to explain why it was written that way. They may clarify, you may get why that was done. It was brought to me, and he told me he's taking it back to Fernandez to sign. I'm sorry, Chairman, I did not.
Lakini in a layman language tu, daktari, siko baya, na layman language tu. So ilikuwa manager atoe hiyo pesa, si ndio? In short tu.
No, I can't know that. Yeah. Because the cashier who called me and told me, just sign it, we'll have other things.
Kwa mfano hii ya Super Strict ama Race Hotel, wewe ndio ulichukua hiyo, si ndio? Ile 100,000. Yeah? Wewe ndio ulichukua 100,000 ndio upeleke cashier, si ndio?
No, all the money that I withdrew from the account, if you got it from me, Chairman, I handed over the 400,000
to Chirchir.
To Chirchir.
Yes, sasa ndio ninasema hata ingine manager alikuwa atoe apelekee Chirchir.
I can't explain that because I was not party to that, Chairman.
A follow up on the same chairman. I think Dr. Oti is a don't care man. You see, if at all you don't want to console, to ask why is it that you are signing checks, what is your specific role as a signatory? You see, you come from the Department of Cooperative. Are you an accountant?
I'm not an accountant, Chairman. It only happened that I remained a signatory to that account because I was there before, and I'm still around in Kericho County.
But now you seemingly you don't care about the eventualities of these things, because if I told you can be told now, can you sign here, and you are bending your signature without even and you are a senior man.
Chairman,
Chairman, you are a PhD.
I'm blaming the originators of the checks.
Okay.
And also, he has directed us also to invite Chirchir to answer some questions. Okay.
Okay, Chair.
Thank you so much. Before Honorable Kemoy, for purposes of record to this committee, for purposes of record, I wish to give Honorable Cherian Bet a chance. You didn't have a microphone to raise that final concern that you said. You repeat what you said.
I thank the Chairman for giving me the opportunity, and by extension, Mr. Chairman, I just wanted, because those are grievous concerns that Dr. Oti has indicated very clearly that he never did due diligence. We have two checks. In fact, the checks for 20th Chairman was right because it was addressed to the hospital facilities. At least it was right. An attachment to those checks were the list of the patients. But that was even better. Then they brought other checks. They cancelled those ones that was right because it was addressed to the facilities, and now indicated the names of now the manager Equity Bank. What does that mean? It means that the Equity Bank manager will bring the money in cash, 1.8 million and 1.5. Is not now going to facilities, so they are going to bring it on cash. So Mr. Oti, in his own wisdom or lack of it, decided that he is not even going to ask whoever brought the check that I signed another check of this much that was going to hospital. What was the reason why you are cancelling the previous checks and it was going to hospital? So he has just alluded to the fact that he failed to do due diligence. I think that was it.
In relation to that, Oti, it is good also, Honorable Jeriot say it is 1.5 million, but it is good that you know it is 1.534190, and another check that is on 20th July, and another check that one was addressed to Londiani Sub-County Hospital. The same check that contained another check that contained the same amount addressed to the manager, 1.534190. Before you sign this check, can you confirm to this meeting that you append your signature to a plain check before it is addressed or written the amount? Because this is a huge amount. It is a bulky amount that's supposed to raise a concern in you before you append the signature.
Okay.
1.5 million plus.
Chairman, if I may respond to that, there is an explanation the cashier gave me which I may not be able to remember. Yes, there's an explanation which I may not be able to remember. That's why I'm requesting this committee to let him explain.
Verbally.
That's what I'm saying, Chairman.
So you are confirming to us that you receive a verbal communication.
Communication, Chairman.
From who in particular?
Chirchir.
From Chirchir. Who is Chirchir? The cashier. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chairman.
Okay, the final one. Can you answer to this committee? Do you normally sign a check which is addressed to, or you sign a plain check that the other people will address later?
I don't sign plain checks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. There is a request that I made to you. One, Mr. Oti, and before this committee, I'm requesting that you provide the guidelines that run the account. Number two, would like also to know the details of bank account since it was opened. It is very important for us to look at that account. So, Chair, I'm requesting kindly before this committee that may these documents be provided so that we can be able to look at it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Chair. I want to ask Mr. Oti, how much can one withdraw in terms of cash in a day in a bank? The number of transactions in a day, then the amount you can transact in a day. How much?
Not more than $1 million.
Not more than $1 million. But here in the statement of account, we can see more than $1 million.
Personally, I withdrew 300 and 400 and 100, which is 400,000, and I took it to the cashier.
About Fernandez withdrew how much?
I don't know.
The same day?
I don't know.
It is more than 1 million. So it raises some questions.
Mr. Oti, did you allow this committee to summon one called Mr. Chirchir to come and explain?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, for purposes of continuity so that we summarize on this matter, I wish to give to Honorable Gikonyo as the final.
Mine is very simple, Mr. Oti. I would like to know ile pesa ambayo ilichangiwa through M-Pesa iliingia kwa hiyo account, na kama iliingia ilikuwa how much?
Very clear from the word go that it is on the 20th of July 2023, that is when I was told money that was collected for the victims of Londiani crash was deposited in the Kericho donation account. So signed for us these checks. From the minutes, it was 13.6. Yes.
Thank you so much, Bwana Oti. For purposes of record, the total amount that came to this committee that was collected in total is 14,589,600. That is for your record too. 14,589,600. So the final question, maybe I would seek clarity from you. Are you aware that apart from the account, there were M-Pesa transactions that was run via a Paybill?
Yeah, I may not be able to know that because I've said, Chairman, that it's only on the 20th of July when I was told the money meant for the victims of Londiani crash had been deposited in this account.
Thank you so much, Oti. Thank you for finding your time to be with us here today. Thank you for honoring an invite to this committee. In case there was a request that we indeed asked you that on documents that were used in running that account, maybe when are you going to avail to this committee?
Chairman, on the Wells Fargo documents, yes, I'll request for it from the cash office.
Okay.
And provide it to the Sergeant.
Thank you so much. So we do appreciate your time. Thank you for the engagement. Maybe as you also leave, we wish to remind you also that 14,589,600 was collected. Then what went to the victims is an approximate of 5 million. What went to the expenditures is around 9 million. So for purposes of the fundraiser that was done, we had the victims, the purpose of the fundraiser. You will agree with us that the purpose of the fundraiser was to cater for funeral expenditure, number one. Number two was to compensate the victims who were still in hospital, who was still, whose life was maimed, those borders, and to compensate for the businesses, and also to uplift them a bit to continue with their normal living. So I don't wish that you answer anything on that. It was just an undernote and a reminder. Kindly tell us your final remarks as we release you, Honorable Oti, Mr. Oti, Dr. Oti, on that.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. I want to take this opportunity to thank this committee for giving me an opportunity to say what I knew about this. And I said from the word ago, I'm just telling you the truth, but nothing there but the truth. Some of the things, sometimes you are called, you are told, come and sign. You sign. You sign. What do? Chairman, I wish to rest my case there, Chairman.
Thank you, OT. Let me ask the Sergeant at Arms to usher OT. Thank you so much. God bless you. Yeah. Thank you so much. Let's pray. Let's pray. Almighty God, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favors and blessings as your servants whom you have been pleased to call to leadership positions in this republic. We seek guidance to treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interest you have committed to our charge. Amen. Our legal officer, kindly proceed with the administration of oath.
I, Fernandez Korir, do swear that the evidence I shall give before this committee is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you so much, Fernandez. For purposes of proceedings of this committee, we wish to take up on introduction. I'm Rotich Moses, MCA representing great people of Tandana Soget and a chair to this committee. I wish to give to honorable members to introduce themselves, starting from a senior ranking member on my right.
Thank you, Chairman. My name is Bet Cheruyot. I represent a ward called Inamoi. I welcome Fernandez to this committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm Kipkoech Albert, representing a ward called Soliat, member of this committee. Welcome, Fernandez.
Thank you, Chair. Welcome, Fernandez. My name is Eric B. Kablela Ward MCA and member of this committee. Thank you.
I'm Kuri Korir Matthew, MCA Chaikor. Welcome, CPA Korir.
I am Masnjeri Gekonyo, nominated MCA, representing minority Kericho County.
I'm Kipet Peter, MCA Kapsuzar Ward, member to the committee.
I am Gilbert Ngetich, MCA Kisiara and member to the committee.
I am Vincent Korir, representing Londiani Ward and a member of this committee.
Martin David, MCA Chipsion Ward, member.
Richard Langat, MCA Kedoa Kimugul, member to this committee.
I am Irene Langat, Vice Chair to the committee. Karibu.
I'm Evelyn Chebogen, friend to the committee.
My name is Abraham Langat, Secretariat.
I'm Sharon Mibay, Secretariat.
I'm Coach Patricia, Secretariat.
I am Koskei Simon, MCA Konyak Ward.
Dennis Chepngatich, Public Relations Officer.
Good morning, I'm Patrick Korir, PR Officer. Justice Martin, Sergeant at Arms.
Thank you so much. For purposes again of these proceedings, we wish to remind each other that we are on live coverage. I wish also to give you a chance to introduce yourself to this committee.
Thank you very much, Chairman. I'm CPA Fernandez Korir. I work as a Chief Accountant of the County Government of Kericho. And thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, CPA Fernandez. For purposes again of the proceedings of this committee, I wish to ask the honorable members if there is anyone with any conflict of interest that can hinder the delivery on the mandate of this committee to declare, starting from my right as you proceed to the other end. Honorable Matthew Korir.
Okay, Chair, Fernandez is a friend of mine, but my presence in this committee will not interfere with the committee resolution.
Honorable Eric B.
Thank you, Chair. Fernandez is a friend too, and by knowing him, will not interfere with this exercise. Thank you.
Honorable Albert Kipkoech.
Thank you, Chairman. Fernandez is also a friend, but it will not interfere in any way with the objectives of this committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Fernandez being a CFO and works in this county, he is a friend of mine. But I want to assure you that that will never interfere with what is before us, Chair.
Honorable Mercy Bikonyo.
I don't have any conflict of interest.
Honorable Peter Kemboy.
I don't have any conflict of interest.
Honorable Gilbert Ngetich.
Chairman, Fernandez is also a friend, but it will not affect the resolutions of this committee.
Thank you, Honorable Vincent Korir.
No conflict of interest.
Honorable Maritim David.
No conflict.
Honorable Richard Langat.
No conflict of interest.
Honorable Vice Chair.
It's my first time seeing Fernandez. So I do not have a conflict of interest.
Thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much, and welcome Fernandez to these proceedings of this committee. This is an Adhoc committee that was formed pursuant to Kericho County Assembly standing orders to investigate on a matter that we are also aware in relation to Londiani accident victims, and also much more on relation to an event that happened on the 4th of July. That is a fundraiser. So on this matter, I wish to give you a chance or maybe ask you if you are aware of an event that happened in Londiani on the 4th of July. There was an accident on the 30th of June. Then on the 4th of July, I think we are guided appropriately that you are coming in post an event that happened on the 4th of July in Londiani. I don't know if you are aware of the fundraiser. That is a yes or no answer.
Thank you very much, Chairman. The incident which happened in Londiani shocked everyone. I, being a resident of Kericho County, I was also all of us across Kenya, everybody was shocked. And the events after that accident was that a fundraiser was planned to assist the victims, which was presided over by His Excellency the Deputy President. Money was raised. I made my contribution also. After the money was raised, I do not have a trail of where the money was taken. I got to know later on that the money was deposited in the county donation account.
Thank you so much.
In which I'm a signatory.
Thank you so much. You have that would have been my second question to you, so that I give the honourable members to proceed. Which account and who are the signatories of that account?
The money was deposited in the county donation account.
County donation account.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Maybe you can clarify to us what is the account balance as at this day. If you still have, you can serve us with that document on the account balance.
Mr. Chairman, I did not get you clearly, please.
I'm asking the account balance before the deposits and also as at now. Before the Londiani fundraiser amount was deposited and also after disbursement, even the disbursement have been made. What is the current balance at bank as at now?
Thank you, Chairman. Allow me to give the genesis of how this account is operated. This account was opened by the county government in, I think, around 2014, when the county government had organized for a trade exhibition, expo, and it was requesting for support towards that. The support came into their account. After a while, it became dormant. After the expo, and since this account is it's operated by the county government, we are required by law to maintain a record of bank accounts and signatories. At some point, I do not recall, on this account was changed to become a donation account. And I was introduced as a signatory to that account when there were support from well-wishers for activities such as the governor's Christmas tree and other donations from charitable institutions. I was introduced as a signatory to this account, and since after that we've been able to do the reports and disclose the balances in this account as required by law. So if you look at the financial statements for the financial year 2021-2022, you'll find that there was a closing balance in that account of 8,090. And no activity, that account has sort of been dormant because of the nature of the transactions. Until when this money was credited into that account, and the decision to credit that account with the money from the kitty, I was not involved in that decision. There was a paybill number which was created, and if you create a paybill number, you have to link it to an account. So this paybill number was created and publicized, and it was linked now to this account. And now when the money started streaming in, until the main Arambe, when the cash was taken there and deposited in their account. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fernandez, for that wonderful submission. I am happy as the chair that you are ahead. All the questions that we would have asked you along the way, you have answered. I only have one last one so that I give to these honorable members. Are you a signatory to this account?
Thank you, Chairman. I'm still a signatory to this account.
Thank you so much. You answered on Paybill. I would have asked you. You answered on the genesis of this account. I would have asked you. So you have answered again that you are a signatory to this account. So for me, I don't think I still have any other question. I just wish to give to Honorable Matthew Korir. Then I give to Honorable Vincent Korir. Then Honorable Albert. Then later I wish to have Matthew. We have the questions, if any. Then we have Honorable Korir on phase 1. Then phase 2, we will take Honorable Albert and Honorable Eric B. And any other member that may have a question. So Honorable Matthew Korir, kindly proceed.
Okay, Chair, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity as well, so that I can just give 2 or 3 questions to Honorable Fernandez, CPA Fernandez. Okay, Fernandez, you are confirming to this committee that this is a county account. This is a Kericho County government account, one of the accounts that we have under the executive. You are confirming to this committee that it belongs to Kericho County government.
Yes, Honorable Member.
Okay, thank you so much. And then, being a signatory to this account, we are in receipt of a bank statement. I don't know if it is you or OT or another signatory who requested for the bank statement, but I want to take you through date 21st that you make a withdrawal of 423,000. 423,000, but on the same day, I don't know, different of time. Is it that you're doing with transaction in the morning, then in the afternoon you are going back to the bank also to do transaction of 300,000? What was the purpose of 423,000 that you made a withdrawal?
Thank you, Chairman. Allow me to refer to the documents which we used to transact. The 423,000 is in reference to there was a committee which was formed, and there are minutes of Londiani Disaster Committee meeting held on the 18th July 2023 in the Governor's Boardroom. And the members present, I'm sure that you already have the list.
That is on the 18th of July.
18th July?
18th July.
Yeah.
11 attendees. And the agenda there was preliminaries, identification of beneficiaries, determination of the level of support.
Yes, so you can do well.
I refer Mr. Chairman to minute number 2. I think page number 2. And the last statement I'll just read in reference to the question. The committee approved the following expenditures for payment.
So, being a signatory for CPA Korir, you'll confirm to us this is what the committee approved.
Yes.
So, yes, you made a payment of 2,037,524 to Kericho Referral Hospital. You have the minutes.
Yes.
You remember signing a check of 2,037,524?
Yes.
Okay. You remember signing a check to Londiani Hospital of 1,534,190?
Yes.
You remember signing a check to Supertrix Limited, tents in Londiani, 2,945,000?
Yes.
You remember signing a check to tents at Race, 411,000?
Yes.
You remember paying Race for lunches, $100, 100,000?
Yes.
You remember paying transport, refreshment, printing, etc. This one is 423,000 that you made a withdrawal.
Yes.
Okay. In the minutes, it is payment for transport, refreshment, and printing, etc. Could you share with us in detail now? Transport was how much? Refreshment was how much? If you are the one paying the supplier or the beneficiaries of 423.
Thank you. Through the chair. There was a memo which was done to the CEC Finance by the CS Betsy Kirui, CEO Lands and Fiscal Planning and Acting CEO Public Service Management. And reference and dates, although the dates have two. One is 13th January 2023 and the other date is 18th July 2023. And it talks about facilitation for Londiani accidents. Let me read. The above subject matter refers kindly facilitate the Department of PSM, which actively participated in assisting those affected during the unfortunate incident on Friday, the 30th June 2023 at Londiani Junction, and ground preparation for the victims' fund raising held on 4th July at Londiani Stadium. Item number 1 was pastor's facilitation fee, 100,000. Item number 2 was transport fund for 12 ward administrators and 2 sub-county administrators for 7 days, 98,000. Item number 3 was field preparation, cleaning, grass cutting and garbage collection, 32,000. Item number 4, lunches and refreshments for the rescue team and administrators on site for 7 days, 125. Number 5, printing, publishing and local radio announcements, 68,000, making a total of 423,000.
Okay, thank you. So, were you the one doing payments, or you handed over money to?
Through the chair, thank you. With regard to accounts and especially any other accounts, even individual accounts, corporate, and this is a government account, the banks will require either an agent or a signatory to withdraw the money. If, as you can see from the list, the expenditures were itemized that they needed to facilitate in form of cash. So when I withdrew the money, money being there are risks involved with handling money, and we have a cash office at the county headquarters where we have a safe. So my first destination was I called a driver from in the Department of Finance, went to the bank.
Okay, in this case, who is in charge of the cash office?
We have an accountant by the name Willie Chirchir.
Willie Chirchir, okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you handed over 423,000 to Willie Chirchir.
When I withdrew the money, I came to the cash office, and the accountant Willie Chirchir was there. We informed the CEO of Public Service Management that since the request came from the department, the money was available. And as per procedure, we confirmed that the money was that amount, and we gave the money to the CEO.
You handed over how much to the CEO?
We gave the entire amount.
423.
Yes.
423 to CEO PSM. Okay, on the same spirit, and I like the way you answer these questions now, Fernandez. You make a withdrawal of 300,000 the same day. I cannot tell if it is that you started with 423 and then later on, but because of the statement, you started with 423 and then you go for 300,000.
Thank you. When these checks, and as I explained earlier, being a signatory, and we are two we're actually 3 signatories. The changes are yet to be effected regarding to the other signatory. So when these checks were done, as you can see, based on what committee has decided that these payments were to be done from this kitty, I went to the bank and with the 2 checks, 423 and 300.
So the checks were 2.
Yes.
So that one you made first transaction of 423.
Yes.
And second transaction was for 300.
Yes.
The second question for 423: did the CO PSM sign anything to show that she has received the money?
Yes, there is.
So you have the copy there?
We have the cash office.
At cash office?
Yes.
Okay, since that we are in this committee and we have the presence of our secretariat here, I think, Chairman, with your permission, we want that secretariat to direct one Willie Churchill to provide with us the signed document to show that Betsy CO PSM received the cash. And then number 2, what was the procedure for 300? What was meant for 300,000?
As per the minutes of 18th, that's 18th July, the 300 was meant for the fuel and meal allowances for the security team.
This one was meant for the county. This is the county commissioner.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So you confirm to us that you make a transaction of 300 for county commissioner. You did a withdrawal
using that is a document which we provided.
Using the document
withdraw the money. Yes.
Okay. Who received this 300 then?
The money has not been, Mr. Chairman, you're talking about the county commissioner and the contact points between county government and national government or any other third party for that matter is Office of the County Secretary.
Office of the County Secretary.
As I mentioned earlier, I do not have a safe in my office, and I do not carry cash.
Fernandez.
Belong. So I left the cash at the.
You will allow us
office, yes,
to cut our story short at least, so that we save time for other people to come in. After withdrawing 300,000, you took to a cash office. Then from cash office, or is still in cash office?
I'm reliably informed that the money is still in the cash office.
Okay, thank you, sir. Who is informing you in this case now? Because after leaving the money in the cash office and go for your own things and duties, who is informing you in this case? Because we want to know who is taking care of this money. Because the county secretary was here, he really confirmed to us that the 300 for county commissioner is under safe custody of one Alphonse CEO governor's office.
Thank you. I'm not privy to the conversations between the CS and the CEO office of the governor. Perhaps there may have been some communication that the CEO office of the governor was to take the money. So, but the information I have is that the money is safe in the cash office.
Okay, CPA, I'll take you through the check number. This is the check number 108. The check number 08, that is on 20th July 2023. This one was Super Tricks and then Super Shine. And then on the check number 110. Check number 110, this one to Kericho Referral Hospital. Referral Hospital. We had checks here, but I cannot find. The Secretariat can help us to find where the
checks are.
The checks. Okay. Fernandez, we have check number 110. Check number 110, that was meant for Kericho Referral Hospital, treatment to medication. This one was treatment medication. A check of 2,037,524. Do you remember signing the same check?
Yes, I remember.
Do you remember signing the same check?
I remember. The check was drawn in favor of Kericho County Referral Hospital.
Yes. And then another check was withdrawn in the favor of Londiani Hospital treatment medication.
Yes.
Are you aware that at some point, His Excellency the Governor confirmed to the public through press, through any media, and through public gathering that all bills will be waived for Londiani victims?
Yes, I remember.
Yes, so I want you to tell this committee the purpose of this check of 2,037,524 that was paid to Kericho Referral Hospital. What was the purpose of this payment?
Thank you, through the chair. As I mentioned earlier, there were minutes. And if you see, if you make reference to the minutes, the attendees, this meeting was chaired by the County Secretary, who is the head of public service. Members, there was Honorable Joseph Cherorot, Member of Parliament, Honorable Leonard Ngetich, CCA Finance.
Okay, we have the same minutes. So.
And I want to put it on record that these are my seniors, and there were deliberations made, and the minutes captured clearly that the committee approved the following expenditures for payment.
Okay.
And I'd also like to add that our role is to facilitate payment, facilitate what has been approved. And as you can see, Honorable Matthew, all these payments were approved by a committee.
Okay, CPA, that is a check of 20th. That is a check of 20th to Referral Hospital and a check of 20th to Londiani Sub-County Hospital. But on 27th, each check was cancelled. Are you aware that the check was cancelled?
Yes, I'm aware that the check was cancelled, and the reason for the cancellation was that the check ought not to have gone directly, ought not to have been drawn directly in favor of the two hospitals. But since it's amount of over 1 million, we needed to do an RTGS in favor of the manager, Equity Bank, so that this money can be debited in their account.
A very good explanation. Okay, but on 20th/7/2023, you wrote, you signed a check of Supertrix Entertainment worth 2.9 million, 2,945,000. I thought that one you could have write also to the Diamond Trust Bank manager so that it can go through RTGS. Why was this one indicated Supertrix? And this one now, you are writing to the manager, Equity Bank. I want you to explain in between because the 2.9 is more than 1.5 million.
Honorable, through Honorable Chair, you remember now we are dealing with the two accounts belonging to the same government. Kericho Referral Hospital is an entity of the county government. Kericho donation account is also owned by the county government. And usually when we process, and I think it was an oversight that the bank is different, it's Equity Bank. But usually when we are doing transfers from, say, our other accounts to these facilities, we use checks. But
Fernandez,
in this situation,
is it possible that we get better explanation on this? Because this one you are paying to the manager, Equity Bank. To the manager, Equity?
It is, Honorable, when you are, and I think this was it's something to, regarding electronic funds transfers and RTGS.
Yes.
You know, RTGS is a document given by the bank. Initially, when RTGS was introduced, RTGS could go through as long as it has been sent. And now, as a control measure, you do another check, a check of that amount to accompany the RTGS. And when you do a check, you do that check through the manager.
Okay.
You don't do the check
Is it
directly.
possible also we get a check to the manager Diamond Trust Bank in favor of Supertex Entertainment of 2.9 because it is RTGS. It was paid RTGS.
Much more, it's not possible because here we are talking of the account where the money is coming from.
Okay. So, but do we have any minutes for cancellation of the other checks? Do you have any minutes of cancellation for the other checks?
No, I do not have minutes for the cancellation of the other checks. And the reason is, when these checks were presented to the bank, in their normal process of operations, they said, no, this cannot go through.
So you are confirming to this committee that the earlier checks was presented to the banks?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And then, but the other check of the manager Equity Bank of 1,880,336 is different from 2,037,000 to Kericho Referral Hospital. So can you tell this committee where is the minutes of this 1,808,000? Because these are different checks now. For Londiani, it is the same case. We agree you cancel 1.5 and paid 1.5. What is the difference between 1,880,000? We are lessing 150,000 here. So tell us, CPA, what was the purpose of writing different figures, paying the same institution that you were intended earlier to pay 2 million, but you are now paying 1.8 million?
Thank you, through the chair. I'll make reference to another copy of minutes from the committee, which was held on 20th July 2023 at the County Secretary's Office on distribution of checks. And I'll refer to the minute number 3 on budget allocation. And this is where the variance is coming from.
Okay, Chair, I think we can now proceed. We can give the
Thank
next
you.
person.
Thank you. Honorable Vincent.
Thank you, Chair. Fernandez, you said you are the Chief Finance Officer for the county.
Let me clarify. Thank you, Honorable. I'm not the Chief Finance Officer of the county.
Yes, I would like to know the position.
I am the Chief Accountant.
Chief Accountant, right.
Yes.
Now, you also said you are a signatory in the account, you and Mr. Dr. Oti, both of you. Do you require the two signatories or one can sign? Maybe you can answer because it's just a direct question. Do you require signatories or either of you can sign?
Thank you, Honorable Member. As per the mandate of that account, two signatories. It's not possible for an account operated by the county government or any county government entity to have one signatory.
Okay, now when you are withdrawing money or signing checks, do you need the two signatories or one can sign depending on the instructions given?
We both signed.
We both?
Yes.
So any checks, any check will have your signature and the signature of Mr. Oti?
Yes.
Okay. Do you normally present basis? For example, if you want to withdraw money in the account, do you have something to present? Say, okay, this is the basis for withdrawing the money. Or do you just withdraw the money whenever you appear in the bank?
Thank you, Honorable Member. It's a requirement when you are doing some transactions to provide the supporting documents for a transaction.
Thank you. Now, I would like to get, because I also asked your colleague, and he said there are guidelines operating the account. I would like to know whether you have the guidelines that guide that account when you are appointed as the signatory. Number two, there are minutes here that maybe could have formed basis for your operating the account. These minutes, I believe you read through the minutes and you must have made communication. It was on 18th of July. And in the minutes, clearly if you read through, it shows that the balance was 13,540,000. But if you go to the bank statement, on that day, let's say before that day on 18th, you can see clearly on 11th, it was 14,573 and 634. But you see here, you can access the details of the account anytime you want and maybe get the statement. Here, it's a difference. It shows that the bank account is 13,540 and the balances are 112,946. Did you take time to look at that so that we give an accurate account of what is in the bank balance? Number two, the M-Pesa Paybill is linked to the bank account. Who operates the Paybill? Maybe you can write so that you can answer me. And you can see the balance as per that month. But you see, we are in Kenya. Every transaction made in M-Pesa, you get a message instantly. But by 18th, somebody somewhere is not able to tell us whether they have received the messages or not. And they still believe that by 18th, 29,000 was the balance. Here, the money has been budgeted. 2 million has been budgeted and was ready to be paid. 1.5 million has been budgeted, was ready to be paid. 2.9 million was budgeted, it was paid. 411 was paid. 100,000, I believe in the bank statement, I can see a withdrawal of 100,000. 423, I can see it went through, it was paid. 300,000, which I will also want to get more clarifications because I am not seeing clarity here. Because the others are following suit as budgeted. But here, you still find county commissioner. You see, we need to be very clear. Let us not beat around the bush. Fuel and meal, 300,000. Can you confirm that it was withdrawn as per the schedule? Number two, now the list of the affected persons and the motorbikes. So the question is, as the holder of the account, you have been asked to give all these details account by account. My worry is, why did you allow these meetings or these minutes to be approved yet you could see an error that, or maybe, I don't know whether it is an error of omission or commission, or it was an intention to have the minutes reading, the balance is 13 million, and what is remaining now, was it at hand or in bank? Because somebody saw it right that the balance was 112,946 after spending all this money. Maybe can you shed light and explain to us about that? Lastly, about the RTGS. It is not the first time for you to deal with the banks. I know for the number of years you have served, you have understood how banks deal. How comes you wrote a check while you know that the banks do not accept checks, yet you know that RTGS can still be an option?
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Vincent. It is your time, CPA Korir, to respond.
Thank you very much. I'll start with the first question on the guidelines to operate the account. And I think I had mentioned earlier that how these accounts came about, and the decision to deposit this money was made by someone else, and I was not involved. I only came to know about this, that money was here, and I was asked to facilitate the payment. Number two, this is a donation account. The law that governs the operation of the donation account is in the PFM Act. I think Section 138, and it clearly gives the responsibilities of who operates this account, what needs to be done, and it defines what is a donation, what is a grant. If you go to that section, it will give you us more light on what needed to have been done with regard to these accounts. Number two, regarding the balances, in the minute number 2, the Honorable CECM Finance informed the meeting that the amount of money collected was 13,653,660. The amount collected through M-Pesa Paybill was 29,000. This makes a total of 13,682,660. When the committee approved this expenditure, which is itemized, coming to a total of 13,547.14, and the balance from this kitty 112,946. This itemized list is for expenditure. It's not it's not the balances. Remember, this account had an opening balance of 8,090, and now this money started streaming in. And when the money started streaming in, as I said earlier, I did not know that this money was coming to the donation account. Yes, I'm a signatory. And this is an account which has been pitched dormant for a while. And even if you look at our financial statements, you will see that the movement is very small. And this is the time also when we were closing the financial year, and we had quite a number of work to do, and I did not.
Fernandez,
let me just finish.
On 10th, when did you close financial year? Let's go straight. It was only just a matter of informing this is a huge amount of money. And this was a very serious issue of the victims who are waiting to be assisted. Even if you are closing the financial year, you could take time, just a small time, to explain that on 10th July, let's not look at the financial year. 14,597,000 was in the account, and the victims are waiting for the money.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Through the chair. You see, Honorable Member, the decision to disperse the money was not under me. There was a committee which was formed and had to deliberate on how to disperse this money. It is
maybe you did not clear my question very clearly, because we need to be transparent, and you have sworn under oath that you see this 14 million. 14 million is not a little money. Just to tell the public and the committee that we have 14 million in our bank account, period. And for the people to know that they received 14 million.
Proceed. Thank you. Thank you, through the chair. I'll still make reference to the committee and the membership of the committee. The head of county treasury was a member of that committee, and to the best of my knowledge, he gave out this information to the committee regarding this money. And I will say for the record that at that time I did not access this account, so I couldn't tell how much was available at that time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mheshimiwa Diplo, I think it is your turn to ask more questions.
Thank you, Chair. Fernandez, you told this committee that you are aware of the money that was deposited in the account. When? Clarification.
And, before you proceed, Mheshimiwa. Okay, I want to. Is Mheshimiwa Peter Kemoi? I'm sorry.
When were you aware of the money deposited to the account?
Thank you, Honorable Member. I became aware that this money was in this account when the process of payment started. And at the point at which the money went to the account, I do not have a trail of how the money came in cash from mobile, and I came to know that this money was available in this account when I was called now to facilitate the payment from this account.
Thank you. Are you aware that there was a pay bill? Were you aware?
Honorable Member, I'm aware there was a pay bill because I also transacted from my mobile money.
Now, if you are aware that there was a pay bill, who requested for the pay bill?
I do not have information on who requested for the pay bill. I think it's a process which involves the service provider. And
I think you should be very clear here, Fernandez, because this is the account that you are operating, and you request the pay bill through the Safaricom. And you must write a letter to the Safaricom requesting for the pay bill. Who else can give the details of the account while you are only two who are operating the account? because there is a letter that you have to sign with the Safaricom requesting for the pay bill. So who wrote the letter to the Safaricom requesting for the pay bill? And who gave the details of the account to the Safaricom?
Thank you. Through the chair. I do not know who gave the authority to open the pay bill. I do not have information on what was presented to the service provider to link the pay bill to the account. I do not have that information, and I'd like to have that to be put on record. Thank you.
Okay. Before that, before you do any transaction with this account, when you are told to sign some checks.
Okay, I am requesting you, Honorable Peter Kemoy, you read all your questions, then we give him chance to respond to all the questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Before you do any transaction of signing the checks, were you aware of the balances that was there in the account? Number two, when signing the checks, you said the account was dormant. Who activated the account? Who signed the form in the bank for activation of the bank? Because what I know, when the account is dormant, there is a form that you have to sign to reactivate the account. And before you signed also the checks, did you check the balance in the accounts? Because you are signing checks what number of a very huge amount now, and you know the account, the previous account, the balance was this. Did you make an effort on checking the balances before you sign the checks? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. It is your chance now to respond.
Thank you, through the chair. Before these transactions, and I had mentioned earlier, the balance in that account was 8,090. And number two, this account isn't that dormant, as in you need to reactivate. An account is active when you can still even make inquiries into that account. And we are required to even provide to the auditors the certificate of bank balances in the normal course of the audit. And we usually write to the bank that you give us this information. And in that line, there was activity. There's activity in this account. There was no need to reactivate. The other question is, when we were signing checks, how much was there in that account? And I'll still make reference to the minute that the money amount collected was that. And there was,
Fernandez, before you give us the minutes, you know the balances, the previous balance, it was 8,000. You have been given, as per the minutes, to sign a check worth 2 point something and 1 point something. And you knew at first the previous balance was this. How comes that you go ahead and sign a check before you check the balances in your account? As the outer of the account.
Let me also make reference to memo from the County Secretary, Dr. Wesley Bor, to the CEC Finance, Honorable Leonard, on 19th July 2023, and the subject is request for facilitation of payment for expenditures incurred in Londiani accident. let me read. Please facilitate the payments from the Londiani fundraiser kit as approved and agreed upon by the planning committee members as per the attached minutes. Please find and close the documents related to the expenditures for your reference and signed by the Dr. Boron, the County Secretary. And when this memo came, the CEC Finance marked to the CEO Finance that you facilitate the above as per the request. The CEO Finance marked to the accountant will kindly facilitate as requested. So this information was already there that these funds were in the kit. And to me, I facilitate what has been approved. So when I went to the bank and with the checks, I had the opportunity to get to know about the balances so that we couldn't overdraw the account. And that is when I got to know the balance.
Thank you. Maybe in that connection.
And when you check the balance, what was your balances now? When you went to the bank, what was your balances?
Thank you.
In that connection, Fernandez, I heard you well saying that what was in the account was 8,090. And from the statement that we have, if you have it there, on third, 200 shillings was deposited to this account. Does it mean that the person who deposited 200 shillings was activating this account? Or what was the purpose of crediting 200 shillings? Number two, you have just said that you don't know how this money found itself in that account. Do you think somebody who activated the account on 3rd and the fundraising was on 4th was very sure that tomorrow everything that we will fundraise in Londiani, we will take it to the donation account? Maybe you can start with that in connection to what Mheshimiwa Diplo was saying.
Thank you. Through the chair. Yes, you're right, much more that there was a 200 which came in, and there was a further 29,810 which came in before now the 13 million.
Differentiate the dates. On third before fundraising, 200 shilling was deposited. So was this 200 shillings meant for activation of the account? Or was it activation of the pay bill? Also, because if you can see the particulars there, is Londiani accident victim support, 200 shillings was credited. And then on 4th, that is what you're talking about, 29,810. On 4th, before the deposits. Londiani accident victims account. Is this money also came from the pay bill? Or it was part of the activation of the account before the deposits? And why is it that now this thing was prepared before the fundraising date? Was there an intention by someone that we are going to use everything from Londiani? We are going to deposit everything that is collected in Londiani in that account, so that maybe other payments will start.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Through the chair. This account, how the activation of the pay bill number was done, I do not have the information. And as you've mentioned, probably the 200 there could have been for purposes of the activation of the account. if you allow me, I can still get further information from the manager to give us the breakdown of these transactions.
Okay, so as you get the information also, I will request that you give us an original statement for that account.
Original?
Statement.
Bank
statement of that account.
Okay.
And then allow me now to, because I was away, Chairman, and
Yes.
maybe most of the questions has been asked, but allow me to take Fernandez to the checks. I know-
Proceed.
Thank you to the checks. I know something has been questioned about this, but allow me to also ask. So, Fernandez, this check that you signed in 20th for Kericho District Hospital, and the other one for Londiani Hospital, Londiani Sub-County Hospital. There is this one that was signed the other day to the manager. And this one, to the manager, you did not sign. Does it mean you knew the reason why? Does it mean you knew the reason why it was cancelled, and that is why you did not want to sign this one? And this thing is, Payee will be the county manager. Was the manager supposed to cash in and then bring it to you, and then you take it to the cash office also, so that it can be dispersed to the hospitals? Or why was manager being mentioned here as a Payee? Number three, in the issues of checks also, the checks, especially the Kericho District Hospital, is accompanied by victims. Do you have accompaniment for these ones for the manager? I mean, maybe victims if it is there, or minutes, or what was it for? The manager. Because from the minutes also, there is no place in that minutes that you have just read. There is no place in that minutes that is written the manager equity bank. What I'm seeing is Kericho Referral Hospital, Londiani, Supertrix, Supershine, Raise, PSM, County Commissioner, affected person. Was there any sheet that supported this document, especially this one that was not signed by the Payee's manager equity bank, to the tune of 3 point something, 1.8 and 1.5? I want you to know that. Another question, so that I'll give you to respond to it. When 90,000 was dispersed to the victims, from the minutes that you have just read, they are talking about 53 fatalities. And if you study your statements, you'll realize that 90,000 went to 47. Does it mean that maybe there was no money to pay the 6 remaining? And from the same minutes, you realize that they are saying the CEC in charge of health said that there is 52 fatalities. Do you have anything that shows who is the 53rd, 53, which one? None in the number 53 in terms of fatalities, because Tumambiwa 52, but down there expenditures we have 53. So if you can start with that one, my good friend Fernandez, then later on I will still ask some questions.
Thank you, Honorable Albert. CPA Korir, it's your turn now to respond.
Thank you, Chair. And I can start from the last one about the fatalities, and I'll still make reference to the minute, and this was provided by the Honorable CEC for Health. CEC for Health in the minutes that informed the meeting that there was a total of 52 fatalities and 24 survivors. And like I explained earlier, if you read next statement is the committee approved the following expenditures for payment. And now this is where all these other payments are rising from.
So in short, Fernandez, you are coming in at the level of expenditures, but not at the level of narrations.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Yes, I think my role came at the tail end of this process. The fundraiser was done. It was publicized. I had knowledge that there was a fundraiser. But the events after the fundraiser, I was not involved in the meetings, in the planning, in the how allocation of these funds to these various expenditure. And my role came at the tail end of the process, when now authority and approval had been given for payment to be done. And I'll give you an example, Honorable Chairman, Budget. I liken this to the bursary, for example, in which I'm a signatory. The process of applications and vetting and everything is done by other people, committees at the ward level. It comes to the board. When the board approves and I'm a signatory to that account, I do not have the power to object and say, you are giving the wrong beneficiaries this account, this money. My role is to facilitate this payment.
Next question. Proceed to the next questions that I did ask.
Yeah. The other question was a reason for not signing the checks. And to put it on record that I've been on leave. My leave is still running. I've not been in the office and I've not been informed that there are checks to be signed. Thank you.
What if maybe you are present, you are not on leave? Would you have signed those checks, which goes direct to the managers they pay?
As per approval, nothing else has come out to stop or to revoke the approved.
You'd have signed it?
Yes, because there is no other information cancelling the payment.
Okay, another one also. There is a question also that I asked on. Are you able to know the reasons why it was cancelled, from this money going to the hospitals and then now going to an
Thank you, Honorable. I think I had answered that before.
Sure. But for his sake, you may also answer it very briefly. Or
I'm requesting
it's okay.
That maybe you can give me just
a
one
request.
statement,
Okay.
one line.
I think the reason why these payments did not go through, and when these checks were presented, is they were drawn in favor of Kericho District Hospital, and that is the account name, and the other one is Londiani Sub-County Hospital. Since this account is, we are debiting an account in Equity Bank, and this amount being above 1 million, we ought to have done RTGS to accompany these checks. And that is the reason why the bank said you have to write through the manager, but on the RTGS you give the beneficiary details. So I believe there is another RTGS which accompany those checks for them to be clear.
So maybe, so maybe Fernandez, you're saying the reason why it was cancelled is because you cannot do a check of more than $1 million. You cannot do a check of more than $1 million. So which means the proposal was that money should be sent through RTGS with the accompaniment of beneficiaries.
No, the reason is not regarding the amount. It is the pay, how you address the pay that we address directly in the check to the two beneficiary facilities. But we ought to have done it through to authorize now the manager to debit our account by way of a check.
Maybe, Andy, to be very precise, Fernandez, you are saying that the reason why it was cancelled is because you cannot dip it to the facility direct. That is why you requested manager to dip it for you. Is that what you said?
Yes. The plausible reason is one is that amount, because when the check was presented directly addressed to the facility.
Yes.
Of course, it couldn't go through because number one is the amount, and number two,
the amount is bigger.
And number two again is
list of beneficiaries.
The address,
The address.
When you are doing the RTGS, we usually do even for the other accounts which we operate. We sign the check and have the RTGS also signed as well.
And to give you an example, you signed a check of 2.9, which is way above what was to be sent to the facility, and it went through. Why not this one? Fernandez, please try to...
There was an RTGS, Honorable.
Yes, so why not do an RTGS to the facility direct? Because here you have done a facility, an RTGS to a service provider of 2.9, more than what was supposed to go to the Kericho Referral Hospital. Because Kericho Referral Hospital only required 2 million. But you have now cancelled them 2 million check, and now you are doing 1.8, but now the pay is the manager. Or there was if you don't know, say I don't know. Or there was a conduit of siphoning this money. Because going to an individual who is not somebody who is working in the county government, it means now maybe there is a way you wanted to debit this cash, then after that, do business with the other personalities that maybe you don't know. Just be precise, please, Fernandez, on this.
Thank you. Directly to the beneficiary, and it will be clear. But the practice now is you have to do another. When you do the RTGS, you have to write a check. Now giving authority to the bank
to 1.8.
So I think the minutes, Mheshimiwa Albert. Mheshimiwa Matu, you may.
I think CPA Korir, outside issues RTGS, bank-to-bank account for county government, I think it is not clear. And I want you to confirm to this committee, CPA, that it is not clear, and the evidence that you are giving us concerning the cancellation of the other check, so that you can write in the name of the manager, corporate equity bank, it is not clear to us. But we will find out. I think after this session, we might seek for further consultation, either even you or other people, to tell us more about when you are doing RTGS. Because you wrote a check to Supertex, but at the moment they received the money from to Diamond Trust Bank, it was RTGS. But in this check, it has not been accompanied by RTGS form signed from the finance department. Because if you want to do an online RTGS or offline RTGS, you must visit the bank with a letter. So with us, we have not, we don't have the letter to show that this money was being paid through RTGS. So one, I think we have no problem. We will conclude according to our standard of understanding. We have no problem. We'll understand like that, that you are doing RTGS.
Thank you. You do have to respond?
Sure, allow me to respond. On the I think the fact that we still have access to the checkbook and the checks which have not cleared is why we're having all these questions. If these checks had cleared in the bank has all these authorization documents for them to effect the transactions. There was an RTGS, yes. The other issue is, and all of us operate bank accounts, and when you want to do a transaction and the bank advises you, no, this is how you have to do it. You follow what the bank has advised you to do. And in this instance, and I said when these checks were presented, Churches was asked, these ones will not go through, you need to do like this, and now write through the manager and do an RTGS to accompany. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
There is a budget allocation here for the minutes that you sign a check to OT, the same minutes that explains about 1.8 and 2 million. There is a payment of 100 seater tent, 200 chairs, that totaling 30,000, PA system that totaling 20,000, refreshment, bread, soda, water, that's totaling 100,000. But when we do a calculation, Fernandez, and I'm happy because we are doing a cross-examination to a CPA. And for us, we understand for you to be given a CPA, you might have gone through School of Mathematics. So kindly, if we can do calculation from there, Fernandez, it is 69,000 and not 100,000. It is 69,000 and not 100,000. The balance was of 21,000. Can someone, that one? Can you tell us more about that? Or you, but I know that you have worked in this county for long and you have experience in calculation. Kindly, can you tell us more about that? Less than 1,000.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. I'd like to explain it as this. These minutes came in for the meeting which was held on 20th, and that at the time the transactions were effected on 21st. These checks were presented on 21st, and I also refer to the request for facilitation from the CS to the CEC. That is on 19th. Please find and close the documents relating to the expenditures. And if you can see, when this memo came, the CC marked to the CEO, the CEO marked to the accountant, and by the time this check was done by the accountant, that is Willie, and I made a follow up that the 100,000 is from where, and I was referred now to the minutes of 20th, and that time I had not seen the discrepancy on the calculation. And remember, this is the time when the distribution of the check started, and this event was already ongoing, and this money.
But according to you, being an accountant, CPA, is it right that we pay 100,000 instead of 69,000? That was just a question.
Through the
normally tell people these will bring audit query. And we say this is an audit query.
Through the chair, allow me to inquire about the tabulation now of this expenditure. And because these were based on estimates, and we still have an opportunity to get to know how this 100,000 was expended through a way of returns and giving the reports of how this amount was spent.
We have no issue with the estimates, but according to our calculation from your minutes or from the minutes of the committee, it is 69,000, but in their own way, they just stated it is 100,000. We have no problem with that. We will conclude from our side and we'll write the way we have understood the minutes of the committee. It was just a matter of asking, since that you have experience in the field of accountants, I wanted to know if this one can be called an audit query. It was just a question. It's not even, you are not even required to answer. Fernandez.
Okay, thank you so much. I don't know if you still have any question that it's unattended.
Thank you, Chairman. Having a record of the 2 sets of minutes and having the approval from the head of Second Treasury to the Chief Officer for Finance, and these documents were prepared and given to us to do the facilitation. I will inquire from the person who did the typing of the minutes that what happened when they were doing the tabulation.
Thank you so much. Okay. So, any one question from Honorable Maritim and Honorable Korir, and we conclude.
Okay, Fernandez. I'm particular about motorbikes. How much was withdrawn for motorbikes, damaged motorbikes?
Thank you, Honorable Member. Through the chair, the number was 3. That was from the initial minutes.
Yes.
And
3 what?
3 motorbikes.
3 motorbikes.
And
how much was withdrawn? Money.
The estimate was 100,000. That's 300,000.
300.
Yes.
That was withdrawn. Where is this money?
This money was withdrawn by OT.
Yes.
Mr.
Where is
OT,
this money?
and when I spoke to him and I spoke to the cashier, he told me that this money is kept the safe.
So you confirm it is kept?
Yes.
Okay. In minute 3, the members were informed that the executive revolved motorcycle to be compensated at an estimate of 200 each. Do you have that information?
On minute number 3?
Yes.
Yes.
It was resolved that they should be given 200,000 each.
Yes.
So where will you get another 300?
If you refer to the next paragraph,
yes,
that the meeting was informed that the allowances for the national government and administration officers in GAO will be catered for on the county commissioner's office accordingly.
Yes.
Members therefore suggested
yes,
that the amount allocated for the same be utilized in the purchase of 3 motorbikes and be handed over to the owners as soon as the same is purchased.
So now the commissioner will not get anything from this kitty?
From this approval?
Yes. What informed?
The decision of the committee.
Okay. Last question. How much can one withdraw from a bank in a day? How much? What amount? The maximum amount you can withdraw in a day?
Not over 1 million.
Not over 1 million. From the statement, from the calculation in this statement of account, when you calculate it's more than 1 million, what happened?
Honorable member, remember these checks were drawn to 2 different individuals. If it was under my name and it was over 1 million, it would not have gone through.
But same account?
Same account.
Yes.
It is same account, yes, and the fact that it was under different names.
The bank can allow.
Yes, the
Okay.
bank allows.
So
yes.
the bank can allow as much as, so long as it's not from one name withdrawing, even up to 3 million per day, for example.
Honorable member,
That's what you are saying, Fernandez.
in
So long as we withdraw differently, the bank can allow more than 1 million. Is it? Anyway, I rest my case.
Yes, thank you. Fernandez, I was thinking of a scenario where, let's say, today, maybe if I'm blessed and I get 15 million, and I deposit into that account, and I need that money to assist someone or some people within a short time. In this scenario, leave alone the committee that were handling the accident in Londiani. You are the signatory and OT. What will happen? How will you initiate the process of dispersing of the money? Because you see, earlier on I asked you about the guidelines. What will you do in that scenario? It's only me. I've given you money. I informed Fernandez that I have deposited some money in donation account belonging to the county, and I needed to help some people within 4 or 5 days. What did you do? Number two, following up on the issue of my colleague here, is as per the minutes, it is very clear that all the other people, this issue of county commissioner, kindly elaborate to us, because these other ministers came in with another additional 200,000. Then it means there is 300,000 somewhere which was withdrawn basing on the money. But we have not now seen the 200,000 for the border that was withdrawn again, or was supposed to be withdrawn. Again, in my own opinion, and maybe after resting this case, these cancellations or these other change of maybe payments for some money or checks, did it happen because someone shouted somewhere and maybe someone said, hold on? Those are the things that maybe we'd like to know. Thank you.
Kindly respond to those questions. As you proceed on the same, then give us your final remarks on the same, so that we conclude on the matter.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Allow me to respond first to the issue of the limit on cash withdrawals. We all know that banks in Kenya are all guided by regulations and laws. The bank will not break those regulations, and especially in reference to the issue of the limits. No, these are governed by regulations. Number two, the Honorable Member for Londiani inquired if you were to give me money into these accounts, what will I do with the money? This account belongs to the county government, and there is a law that has to be followed. Once this money comes in, you refer back to the PFM Act on how this process will be done. For example, is there an agreement that's signed and to say these are the intended beneficiaries and so forth?
As you talk, Fernandez, maybe you'll allow me, Chairman. One good thing is that you have talked about PFM Act, and you have said that everything in that account should be done under PFM Act. Was deposits for the fundraising that was done in Londiani deposit to that account basing on the regulations in the PFM Act? That's number one. Number two, was the utilization of the funds in that account also followed Act and the regulations of PFM Act?
Let me finish answering the Honorable Member from London, Honorable Vincent. Inquiry about the borders. You inquired about the borders, and from the deliberations of this meeting, that this amount was reallocated by the committee to take care of the repair of the damaged borders. So this was a decision made by the committee. And to answer through the chair, the Honorable Member for Swaliat Albert. I'll still make reference to this minute and the composition of this committee. And Honorable, let me just finish on.
Mine was simple too. If it followed the Act and the regulations, and if it was utilized based on the Act and the regulations. Very simple.
And equally the same, if the PFM, if the minutes are superior than the PFM Act or not.
Thank you. The issue on compliance, I'll say that if you read that act, and I'll beseech this committee members to go through that act so that also you get to see, by definition, first of all, what is a donation. The act talks mostly about the grant from development partners. And if you read and have a look at it, what is a donation? It's a gift or a contribution. And it goes further and talks about utilization in accordance with Article 224 of the Constitution. Article 224 talks about county assembly appropriating for funds. And if going through this issue, the purpose of the kitty was clear. It was to assist the victims. By no way this was county money that or a donation from well-wishers to the county government to assist the people who assisted the victims on their personal capacities. And if you refer now to this act is a donation, first is now how do you define that donation in reference to this kit?
So according to you as a CPA and finance guru, was fundraising that was done in Londiani, does it qualify to be a donation? Contribution that was done in Londiani for the accident victims, does it, as a finance guru and a CPA, does it qualify to be a donation? Number two, you have said that number two, you have said that everything should pass through here, the assembly, for approval before it is utilized. In this case, was it utilized after the approval of the assembly, or what happened?
Thank you. The Act talks about where the county government or an county government entity is required to co-fund, for example, or where money is used from the public. And it has to go now through the either, number one, legislation, or number two, a written authorization from the CEC member for finance for the project to begin. Yes, I'm a finance person, and the interpretation now could best be done by the lawyers or the legal experts.
Thank you so much, Fernandez, for your time. Thank you for the submissions that you have made to this committee. Thirdly, thank you so much for honoring an invite to come. We have gotten to the details from your side, because from the bank statements, we saw your name being mentioned repeatedly, and we are very grateful for that. Maybe before we conclude, according to the findings of this committee, a total of 14,589,600 was collected in that purpose. What went to expenditure Fernandez is a tune of around 9 million. What went to the victims? Is something around 5 point something million. The purpose of the Arambe was to cater for funeral expenses and also compensate victims that their life was maimed, that their lives were ruined, that they were turned into a disability phase. Their lives would not remain the same again. For that, thank you so much. And unless you still have any other thing to tell this committee, we wish to thank you. And anything else from you that you wish to tell the committee as we conclude?
Thank you, Chair. I just want to say that I'm grateful for giving me this opportunity to shed more light on what transpired regarding this matter. Thank you very much.
I think from Secretariat is that Willie Chirchir will be appearing before this committee, but I want to extend that if you will share with him to come with the signed document from Betsy of receiving 423,000.
And the original statement. So we want to thank you. I want to urge our Sergeant at Arms to proceed and ask Fernandez. So thank you so much and welcome. In case there are things we would need from you, we will still call you to come and give us more information. Otherwise, thank you so much and God bless you. treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interest you have been committed to our charge. Amen. Our legal officer will proceed with the administration of oath.
I, Judith Chepkorir Chirchir, do swear that the evidence I shall give before this committee is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you so much, Waziri. For purposes of proceedings of this committee, we wish to introduce ourselves. I am Rutich Moses, member of the County Assembly, representing Tendana Soget Ward, and a chair to this committee. Welcome. To my left.
Thank you very much. Welcome. My name is Vincent Korir. I represent the people of Londiani, and I'm a member of this committee.
David Maritim, MCA Ward member.
My name is Dora Keno, nominated MCA member to the committee.
My name is Richard Langat, representing Kedoa Kemugul Ward, member to this committee.
I'm Kipet Peter, MCA Kasosir Ward, member to the committee.
Thank you, Chair. Eric B., MCA Cabrera Third Ward, member to this committee. Thank you.
Albert Kipkoech is my name, representing good people of Soliat. Thank you, Chair, and Karibu, Wazir.
I'm Kipuri Korir Matthew, MCA Chai Ward, member to this committee. Chair, if you don't mind, I don't have, I know Judith as the CEC Education, and my presence here being the Vice Chair Education will not interfere with the report of this committee.
Through the Chair also, allow me to say that I don't have any conflict of interest, but I know Waziri. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Eric B.
Thank you, Chair. I do also know Waziri, but by knowing I will not interfere with this exercise. Thank you.
Honorable Kemoi Peter.
I know Waziri very well, and any proceeding in this committee will not hinder or affect the conclusion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Korir. Any conflict of interest, if any?
No, I don't.
No conflict of interest.
No conflict of interest.
I have no conflict of interest.
Thank you. Within us too, Waziri, are members of the Secretariat that I would wish to give them also a chance to introduce themselves.
Waziri, my name is Abraham. I'm a member of the Secretariat.
Good afternoon. I'm William Tale, a member of the Secretariat.
Koech Patricia, member of the Secretariat.
Dennis Chepngatich, PR officer.
I am Patrick Korir, PR officer. Finally, Justice Maritim, Sergeant at Arms.
Thank you so much, Waziri. We also wish to give you a chance to introduce yourself to this committee, and also after that part of the introduction, you give us briefly on what you know about the 4th of July. For purposes of record again and introduction, this is an Adhoc committee that was formed pursuant to Kericho County Assembly standing orders to investigate a matter in relation to Londiani accident victims and the events that followed after the 4th of July 2023. Welcome, Waziri. engage the microphone.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Judith Chirchir Chepkorir, the CEC for Education, Culture, Libraries, and Social Services. Yeah, on the 4th of July, there was an accident at Londiani Junction. And
on the 30th.
Oh, sorry, 30th.
30th of June.
30th of June.
That is when the accident happened.
The accident occurred at the Londiani Junction.
There was a fundraiser.
Yes. On 4th, there was a fundraiser at the Londiani, and I attended the fundraiser, and I made my contribution of 10,000 shillings. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Waziri. For purposes of time, I wish to take you to the 18th of July, 2023, at around 10:30 a.m. The minutes of Londiani Disaster Committee meeting held on the 18th July at Governor's boardroom. Can you recall? Yes or no?
I learned of the meeting on social media. I was not appointed a member of that committee, and I was not invited, and I did not attend that meeting. Thank you.
So you can tell this committee that among us the members who are present, and if I wish to read to you briefly, were 11 members. There was Dr. Wasilika Ibor, PhD, County Secretary and Head of County Public Service, chairing that meeting. Honorable Joseph Chirorot, Member of Parliament, Kipkelion East. Honorable Leonard Ngetich, CEC Finance and Economic Planning. Honorable Brenda B., CEC Health Services. Honorable Rosemary Rob, CEC Water Energy, Forestry and Natural Resources Management. Number 6 was Edna Tanui, CEC Public Service Management. 7 was Honorable Chirchir Judith, CEC Education, Culture, Libraries and Social Services.
I was not in the said meeting.
Thank you.
I was not there.
So for that purpose,
Chairman, maybe since she has said that she was not on that particular meeting, so you did not receive a call, a message, or an appointment letter?
I did not receive an appointment letter. I did not receive a call. I did not receive a message to attend the said meeting.
Thank you so much.
Did you hear about a meeting of such kind? Did you hear of any meeting that was done at the governor's of boardroom?
No.
You did not hear?
I did not hear, because after the Harambe, I concentrated on my work. I did not hear of any meeting. I only learned about the meeting on social media.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you aware?
On 20th July 2, there was another meeting on the office on the distribution of checks. Can you recall the 20th July 2023 meeting?
Yes, I'm aware there was a meeting at Londiani on 20th of July, but I did not attend the meeting.
So the two meetings that happened on the 18th July and the meeting that happened on 20th, where at the governor's boardroom, on this 20th, you are appearing number 5 on the list of attendees of the meeting. Being present was Chirchir Judith, CECM, Education, Culture, Libraries and Social Services.
Please clarify to me, is that the Londiani meeting?
No.
Another boardroom meeting.
Boardroom meeting that has an agenda of distribution of checks.
No, I was not in that meeting.
Thank you so much.
Chairman, I think it is now evidence that the minutes that we have is docked that, and Waziri is she's confirming that she was not a part of this meeting. I think it is upon this committee to release her.
So before then, we would ask you, Waziri, that for purposes of clearing and dispensing this matter off once and for all, we may urge you to, because you have been mentioned adversely on this matter, which according to you, in your conscious mind, you were not party to it, we would wish that you serve this committee with a sworn affidavit of the same. Thank you.
Wasiri, I hope your name is appearing number 5. Is there any signature on that list? No signature? Thank you.
I want to also to agree with the discussion that if Waziri is confirming that she was not there in the meeting, then give us an affidavit, so an affidavit for the same. And if she is confirming the same chairman, then it is prudent for this committee to release her. Thank you.
So on behalf of this committee, Waziri, we are so grateful for honoring our invite. So on this matter, unless you have anything else to tell this committee, we wish to release you to continue with your business of the day.
Thank you very much. I appreciate. I'm happy that you invited me here so that I clear the air on this. Thank you very much. I'm going to get an affidavit and I'll serve this committee with the same. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Waziri, and God bless you. So our Sergeant at Arms kindly usher out. And blessings as your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to leadership positions in this republic. We seek guidance to treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interest you have committed to our charge. Amen. Legal officer. kindly proceed with the administration of oath.
I, Rosemary Ropp, do swear that the evidence I shall give before this committee is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you so much, Waziri. And welcome to the proceedings of this committee. For purposes of introduction, this is an ad hoc committee that was formed pursuant to Kericho County Assembly standing orders to investigate a matter regarding Londiani accident victims. For purposes of introduction, I am Rotich Moses, MCA representing Tendana Soget, and a chair to this committee. So I wish to give honorable members a chance to introduce themselves and also to declare any conflict of interest, if any. So we will start from far end as we...
Kericho Matthew, MCA Chaikwad, a member to this committee. Chair, if you can allow me, being member to water the committee where Waziri said, being in this committee, it will not interfere with the report of this committee.
Thank you so much.
Chalbat is my name, MCA Saliatwat, Karibu Waziri.
Any conflict of interest?
I don't have any conflict of interest.
Thank
but
you.
she's my friend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Eric B., MCA Kablila Ward, and a member of this committee. I do also have no conflict of interest by knowing Waziri, and it will not interfere with this exercise. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Karibu Waziri. I'm Kibet Peter, MCA Kapsuser Ward. I chair also the water department where Waziri is heading, but I don't have any conflict of interest that will interfere with the resolution of this committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Welcome, Waziri. My name is Vincent Korir. I represent Londiani Ward, and being a member of Water Committee where you head, I have no conflict of interest. Thank you.
I am Maritim David, MC Chief Signatory, a member to this committee. I don't have any conflict of interest.
My name is Dora Keino, member to the committee. I have no conflict of interest.
I'm Richard Langat, being chairman environment, where Rosemary is our CC. I have no conflict of interest to this committee. Thank you.
My name is Isaac Matker, MCA representing North Group, a friend to this committee.
Thank you so much.
My name is Honorable Rogoin Kiprotich, MCA Sigawet Ward, a friend to this committee. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you so much. Within us too, Waziri, are members of the Secretariat. I wish to give them a chance also to introduce themselves.
You're welcome, Waziri. My name is Abraham, Secretary to this committee.
I am quite Patricia, Legal Officer.
Good afternoon. My name is Renis Chapngatich, PR Officer.
I'm Patrick Korir, PRO Officer.
Finally, Justice Maritime, Sergeant Terms.
Okay, thank you so much, Waziri, and welcome. I wish also to give you a chance to introduce yourself.
Thank you, Chairman. My name is Rosemary Ropp. I'm the CEC for Water, Energy, Environment, Natural Resources, and Forests in Kericho County.
As I had earlier mentioned on the part of introduction, I I am drawn to an attention. On the 30th of June, there was an accident in Londiani. Then post that there was a fundraiser on the 4th of July. I wish to draw you to the 18th of July 2023 minutes of Londiani Disaster Committee meeting held on the 18th of July 2023 at the Governor's Boardroom. Present in that meeting was Dr. Wesley Kaibor, PhD, County Secretary and Head of County Public Service. He was chairing the meeting. Honorable Joseph Cherorot, Member of Parliament, Kipkelian East. Honorable Leonard Ngetich, CECM Finance and Economic Planning. Fourth is Honorable Brenda B. Fifth, Honorable Rosemary Ropp, CEC Water, Energy, Environment, Forestry, and Natural Resource Management. Can you recall the meeting?
Chairman, no, I do not recall being in such a meeting.
Thank you so much. I'm also drawn to the 20th. Okay. There was also another meeting on 20th of July 2023. Do you recall, maybe by virtue of a coincidence, to have heard of the said meeting?
Chairman, no, I have not heard of this meeting.
Thank you so much. So, what is it, Honorable Albert?
Maybe, Chairman. I was looking at the minutes of 20th. She was not there. But the minutes on 18th, she was there. So maybe, Waziri, in any case, did you not hear even a whisper of it that there was a meeting somewhere in the governor's boardroom, that they were talking about issues that happened in Londiani?
Thank you. I was neither invited nor did I hear about the meeting on the 18th. On that day, we were preparing for the visit of His Excellency the President, and the only meeting I had was in preparation for that meeting, and I spent the whole day preparing for the visit of the President on the 19th.
So how comes your name is appearing in this meeting? Is it by coincidence? Did you send an apology? Or
I was not invited for the said meeting. I did not know about the meeting, and I did not participate in the meeting.
Okay, so you are not aware how comes your name is appearing here?
I think the people who attended the meeting, who wrote the minutes, may have made an error.
Thank you so much. Maybe for purposes of clearing yourself, I don't know if you don't mind getting this committee as one affidavit so that you completely disown this. Is that quite in order with you?
That is in order.
Thank you so much. So on behalf of this committee, we thank you for finding time, for honoring our and coming in to clear yourself on this matter. Maybe unless you have any word to the committee.
My only word to the committee is to thank you for your service to Kericho County.
Thank you so much, and Waziri, may God bless you as you discharge on your mandate. We wish you well as you continue with the business of the day. Thank you so much. Sergeant at Arms, kindly usher Waziri out. Thank you so much.
Chairman, with all due respect, allow Albert Kipkoech to move a motion that we go for lunch.
your opinion, say nay.